is ANN News Brief.
Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has said on Thursday, Africa is beginning to slowly bend the curve of coronavirus infections. Africa CDC says measures like mask wearing and social distancing is helping in slowing down the spread of the pandemic on the continent. The rate of infection gradually accelerated on the continent, especially in South Africa, which now accounts for more than half of more than 1.1 million cases in Africa. The spread of the COVID-19 outbreak was slow in Africa in the early stages of the pandemic. Head of Africa CDC John Ikengasong said on average, there were signs of a decline in new infections across the continent over the last 2 weeks. He said that is some sign of hope and that the news must be taken with cautious optimism. Africa's caseload has remained relatively low compared to other continents. WHO Regional Director Moshidesi Moeti said the slowing infections in Africa was encouraging, but the continent cannot be complacent. Doctors in most public hospitals in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, have begun strike on Friday over pay and lack of COVID-19 protection. The doctors say their salaries were delayed and they lack protective equipment, PPEs, when handling patients who may have contracted coronavirus. The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union head, Turanira Kaugiria, said 320 doctors employed by the Nairobi County government were taking part in the strike that began midnight on Friday. The strike action is also in protest against inadequate health insurance, poor quality protective gear, and too few isolation wards to treat COVID-19 patients. The head of the government-run Kenya Medical Supplies Authority has been suspended over allegations the agency procured low-quality items and inflated prices of others. The strike will not affect private hospitals and public hospitals within Nairobi run by the national government. Latest data show 31,441 confirmed coronavirus cases in Kenya, 620 deaths, and more than 400,000 tests conducted so far. At least 13,500 patients have recovered. The majority of confirmed cases have been in the capital, Nairobi. In a separate incident on Friday, police used tear gas against dozens of protesters who had gathered at Freedom Corner in Uhuru Park to demonstrate against allegations of corruption in the procurement of protective gears. We'll be right back.
Whether in your house, at your office, on your phone or online, we are there. We have the facts behind the headlines. We cut to the chase with the news you really need. We cover every angle. We are the bigger, better news network. We are African News Network. ANN. Watch ANN News on MITV from a truly African spirit.
The Moroccan government has imposed new tight restrictions on movement in the country's main tourist hubs, Casablanca and Marrakesh, following a spike in coronavirus infections. Authorities say several districts of the two cities will be closed off, with restaurants, coffee houses, and business operating at reduced hours. On Tuesday, partial lockdowns were ordered in the capital Rabat and the port city of Tangiers, with armored vehicles patrolling the streets and police manning checkpoints. Some public parks and beaches in Casablanca have been closed. Morocco has recorded more than 46,000 cases of the coronavirus and 743 deaths. That is the ANN News Brief at 1. For details on these and other breaking stories, visit our website, annafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. I'm Lucy Adeyemi.